So we're cruising out of the 2016 Guilty by Association truck show, and we're heading out to a nice little location here to take some pictures of this truck. Who do we got there on the inside?
My name's Joe Overfelt. I used to work at Four State Trucks for about 10 years, a little over 9 years, and just recently decided to go my own way and start trucking.
Well, excellent there. What are you running?
I got a 03P 379. It was pretty clean when I bought it from a friend of mine up north by Jasper, where we're from, but it's a 280 wheelbase. It's got a 63-inch flat top sleeper. I recently put a 20-inch bumper on it, boltless, with a 12-gauge lift kit. The grill is an oval stainless flat sheet grill right now, but I've got a horizontal billet grill coming from Details for it. Shaved all the hood pulls and stuff off the top and put a retractable flush spring-loaded hood pull in it. And then I had Peterbilt to Joplin paint it black. It ran out East Coast quite a bit when it was new. It's a 3-owner truck, but it ran East Coast. It was bought here in Joplin at Peterbilt, but he ran the East Coast a lot, so the frame was ate up pretty good, and I just wanted to get all the pits filled in and clean and smooth and fresh paint put on it. I went through and replaced all the lights with LEDs. Everything is black. I smoked all the cab lights, the bumper lights. The 4-inch rounds on the rear are the nice truck light black backside of them, and the rear center section and things like that. Me and a friend of mine built at a fab shop here in Joplin out of all aluminum. All 3 pieces of the frame covers are aluminum flush mount, and then I bought a lot of my parts came from Four State. New breathers. I put new shock box cover on. New fuel tank on one side, new battery boxes, the smooth aluminum ones. I bought the rubberized with the stainless trim steps for the boxes, and I've got 9-inch cabin cowl and sleeper panels on it.
Well, I tell you what, this here interview will be the most defined interview, because it's not often that we get a former Chrome Shop professional behind the wheel being able to tell the viewers exactly what's been done to the truck. So a lot of folks really appreciate that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun building it. I mean, I wanted to do a lot of the work myself, so when I tore it apart and took it to paint pretty well stripped, and then I wanted to be the one to put it back together because of all the years that I've done it. I started at 17 years old in an aluminum fab shop across town building parts for trucks, and I worked there for 9 years, and Brian gave me the opportunity to come work for him in his Chrome shop, so I did that, and eventually took it over, just in a short time of being there, and we grew it, and I had a lot of fun over the years working for him, and it's a great family, and they make you feel like family rather than friends, and it's just a good environment to be in. I love trucks, and I've always loved anything with a motor and wheels, so I used my skills and my passion and put them together, and this is what I got.
The truck is a great looking piece. I'm sure you get a lot of compliments on it. This is my first time seeing it, being around with it. What are some of the things that people say to you that they really like about it?
Honestly, most of what I hear, it's pretty freshly done. I've only been doing this for 2 years, but most of what I hear are more people are proud of me for stepping out and doing my own thing and seeing me happy in what I've chose to do, rather than, they're just excited for me in general to see a passion of mine come to life for myself. All these years I've built custom trucks for other people, and now I have the chance to do my own, and Rome wasn't built in a day. It's not perfect, and it's nowhere near where I want it to be, but eventually it'll be there, and a little bit at a time. And most of the general crowd is like family to me, because I've dealt with them and known them all these years, and they're just happy for me like any family member would be, and they really like the truck. I think a lot of people like my style. If you look back at the years of trucks I've built, a lot of the things that you see are similar to what I've got now. It's just my style, so I just kind of carried through with that. And I don't think they expected any less, about what they see with it, so it's no surprise to them.
Yeah, that's amazing, because, what happens is, people know where you came from in terms of work and so forth. So you really can't, you got to keep everything looking nice and, and detail oriented, because, some folks would expect that from you. So that's pretty full plate to have there. One of the biggest questions that people have regarding these videos is that, what does it take to build a truck? How much does it cost to build a truck? And so what are some of the secrets that a guy should be thinking about if they're going to start, customizing their own truck and making it show ready? What should be on their mind?
Well, Well, to be honest with you, it is a huge process and an undergoing to redo a truck complete. So a lot of guys, you know, it's a life decision to do that financially, to make that step. But there's a process to it. You know, if you're going to sandblast and paint your frame front to back, what I like to do and what I've done on this one is I went ahead and went in while it was apart and replaced all the bushings, springs, shocks, you know, anything suspension-wise that could wear or have wear on it. I wanted it all new. That way when you get your fresh paint on, you don't have to immediately take it to a shop and have, you know, bolts cracked on with an impact and things tore up and just, you know, people greasy hands all over it. It's pretty well done. So I start with the basics and make the truck reliable and to where it'll last you a long time once you get it shiny, and go with that. You know, start with the mechanical side of things. What I did, I've been trucking for 2 years. I just recently got this out of the paint shop from Peterbilt, but I started with the motor. I wanted better fuel mileage, a little more horsepower. I did that. Then I went and started going through the suspension and updating that. I put an aluminum Holland fifth wheel on it so I didn't have grease slinging all over my frame covers because I knew I would build those. So it's just a step-by-step thing. You got to think one step ahead. If you're gonna, you know, if you're gonna put aluminum painted frame covers on, but you have a greased fifth wheel, every time you turn or you go to a shop across the nation somewhere and grease it, you're gonna get grease dropped on your fresh paint. So I remedied that, and just thinking about things in general. Any driver is going to know how to maintain their truck, so they know where the areas are that are going to affect certain things. So you start with that and then go with your cosmetics afterwards.
No one's ever expressed that sentiment, that thought process, and I tell you what, it makes perfect sense. You know, why would you not want to do it that way? What would a guy want to keep in mind when it comes to, you know, running if they're going to decide to paint it themselves? You know, what would they be up against?
It is a chore. It is a huge chore, and I appreciate the patience any painter has to paint one of these big trucks, because there are so many working parts on this thing and so many pieces that you have to take off and keep track of and remove and put back on later in the right spot without scratching anything. Prep is 99% of any paint job, and it depends on your budget. You know, you can get a cheap budget paint job that'll look good going 100 mile an hour down the road, or you can get one that's going to look good at any show. And you know, it's all across the board. You find a reputable shop, or if you're going to do it yourself, the main thing is prep. Strip it. If you're worried about getting overspray on it or you don't want paint on it, strip it. Take it off the truck. Start with nothing. When I painted this truck, it was literally a cab sitting on 2 frame rails. I didn't pull the cab just for the wiring aspect of it and things like that, and I left the motor in the frame for now. When the motor needs overhauled, I will pull it out of the frame and send it to a paint shop on a crate, because it's just so much easier and nicer and efficient to paint it that way than it is in the truck. But a lot of guys don't have that option. You know, they've got a fresh motor, they just want to clean it up. Just prep is everything. You clean everything, tape everything off, and just make sure everything's dialed in before you spray anything on the truck or start sanding.
I appreciate your thoughts on that.
My phone still rings quite a bit. A lot of guys still ask questions about what to do here and what they think would look good or not look good, or what I've seen over the years, because I've seen a lot of things, and some stuff, honestly, you know, it's a matter of opinion. Some guys love different things than others, and that's what makes this thing awesome, is that you can see all kinds of different things on the same style of truck, and it'll be a totally different truck.
A lot of people are like, well, you know, everybody fixes up a Peterbilt or this or that, but it's what you do with it. It's how you finesse it, you know, and get the most out of it.
Exactly. It's a statement about you. It is your truck, it's your personality, and it has to fit you.
I'm going to throw another question at you before we get up here. So what do you do with the truck? You know, it looks great. What do you do with it?
We live out north of where a lot of farm ground is, so naturally for us, a hopper is the year-round best option for work for a truck like we have. A lot of my friends have big farms, and neighbors have big farms, and we haul grain off of the farm to feed mills, chicken feed mills, and things like that around here. Sometimes I haul commodities down south to Texas or up north to Denver or whatever, you know. But we also have liquid tanks that we pull fertilizer. I like to stay ag-related. That's how I grew up, as farming. We were small farmers, but we did things like the Joplin Airport and little fields here and there, but Grandpa got out of it. So I wanted to get back out into my element where I was raised, and the ag community, and visit with all the old farmers and stuff like that, and see the places that I've missed over the years. And so this is the best fit for me. But we haul grain to feed mills and liquid fertilizer from plants down towards Tulsa and Coffeyville out to local MFAs and co-ops and things, and the guys can buy that liquid and, you know, fertilize their crops and stuff. So it all works out good for us.
10-4. I think this is the turn. So as you creep up here, you can see what the background is, and pretty much you would be parked right there on the road, and we would shoot from about this perspective here, shooting that way.
Let me pull into the left and just back straight across if you can block traffic.
We got that one coming towards us. Looks like a red car. After that, that looks like a good spot. What does traffic look like behind us?
Well, I see one set of headlights coming. I think I can make the left turn after this car.
10-4.